After my few laps with Paul, it was my turn to drive, but I was so nervous about damaging his car, I insisted he came with me for my first trip. The power is incredible. As you push the throttle to the floor, the car surges forward in a howl of noise, pushing you back into the seat. The revs build so quickly that in what seems like a fraction of a second, it's time to change gear. To notice a race-spec Ferrari or Porsche screaming up behind you is a bit daunting, but providing you keep your eyes open and stay out of the way, it's not really a problem.
That's stunning.
So it is easy to drive. You can feel it, can't you, through the car? It's like a piece of cake.
Yeah, right.
It's trust me.
I know what you mean up to a point, but you're going about 1,000 times faster than I was going.
Yeah, I do know where I'm going, which does help.
Well, even so. No, I shall plod around and take it all on board, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was outrageous, that.
Finally, it was time to go out on my own. I was still a bit apprehensive. The last thing I wanted to do was to spin it into a wall or something even worse.
Okay, well this is it. Been cleared solo in the Caterham. Very nervous. Just very nervous actually. You see how it goes. Getting into gear would help.
I'd be lying if I said I was relaxed, but it's nowhere near as stressful and daunting as I thought it might be. The speed doesn't worry me at all, to be honest. I know I'm not a racing driver, so I drive as fast as I can and I try to learn as I go from my own mistakes, hopefully not too big. What worries me most is the possibility of damaging somebody else's car and doing it on camera, of course, for the world to see. Just to be driving on a track as legendary as Brands Hatch was a pleasure in itself. To be driving in a car like the Caterham Fireblade, at times in amongst proper racing cars that were here to test, made it even more special. The gearbox in the Fireblade is sequential, like a motorbike. Almost immediately I lost the plot and had no idea what gear I was in. I just did it by feel, and I don't think I had too much of that. Some of the lines into certain corners do seem a bit odd at first, but they definitely work, and you'll be an idiot to ignore the advice given by John and Paul. The engine noise is loud and exciting. Sitting in an open-top car with all the sounds and smells pouring into you adds a level of enjoyment to the experience that is hard to describe. The steering is amazingly precise. The slightest movement and the car reacts. In a normal road car there is a tendency to lead into a corner slightly to allow for the play in the steering. Not in this. I love this car. I'm just an enthusiastic amateur driver, but it feels connected to me, or me to it, perhaps more accurately, in a way that lifts this driving experience to a completely different level.